1% information before 1% wealth. What does that mean? Many people lose a lot of money, time, and energy by doing the things they do conventionally. Basically, by doing it how everybody else does it. This includes savings, how they save money, how you save for retirement, the type of retirement that you use. It includes your checking accounts, brokerage accounts, etc. And this is typically because of the cost initially of doing things different. Whether it's, maybe you have to pay a professional, make a certain donation, maybe you have to make an investment of time. That's a form of payment. Time, energy that you would not otherwise do if you just kept doing what you do. Do you understand what I'm trying to say right now? Because this is a hindrance for most people. This is why most people will never change, will never be able to change, will never be able to get what they want or achieve their specific goals. Why? Because we're, as humans, we are creatures of habit. And if the higher the upfront cost to do something different, the lower the probability of most humans will do that. Even if I told you, hey, I can show you how to be a millionaire in 3 to 5 short years. Most people, and you would be like, I'm not one of those people. You might want to be a little more honest. Most people would not do what was required. You down. Yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire in 3 to 5 years. Yeah, man, what I got to do? And then when you learn what is required, here, man, look, I see it all the time. Here come the excuses. Oh, man, my family. Oh, someone passed. Oh, I fell. I broke my knee. I got in a fight with my girl. He left me. My children, they need a lot. There's so many excuses that I hear as to reasons why people must continue doing what they're doing. And I know, I took psychology in college. I know that the reason why most people give excuses is not for the person they're talking to. It's really for themselves. And most time, if you don't accept these excuses, you are going to be met with some sort of violence. Oh, you think you're better than me. Oh, you don't have any empathy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on. But doing things conventionally will cost you more in the long run. I'm going to repeat that. Doing things conventionally, saving money, saving for retirement, administering your estate, how you title assets and property, it will cost you more in the long run than it would if you just made an investment, whether energy, monetary, or otherwise, up front. Now, when you have a choice. You have a choice. It's amazing. It's amazing the type of human behavior throughout my life that I've come into contact with. It's amazing to me because I'm the type of person that makes decisions based off of logic, not so much off emotion or hope or fear, but off of logic. I'm a very, pragmatic person, And I've been able to overcome a lot of very poor circumstances to be where I am now because I made specific choices. And I just don't understand how people refuse to make different choices. So let me get into this. 1% information. What is 1% information? Information not taught in public schools. Period. That's probably the best synopsis I could give you about 1% information. It's stuff that's not taught in the public. It's not taught in public schools. 1% information is private information. Public schools create public professionals. Come on, man. It's called deductive reasoning. Or if that, then this, type reasoning. Public schools create public professionals. Your accountant, your attorney, your lawyer, your financial advisor, your broker, all educated in the public by public schools. Straight up. All schools are established by state statutory legislation. Let's connect the dots. State statutory legislation, public law, also known as positive law. There are federal mandates within state public schools, of course, as well as different universities and colleges, because these state schools accept federal funding. But I don't think there exists, I would go so far as to bet money that there does not exist a school created by the United States. Like, yo, you want to go to your United States school. I'm going to go to United States of America school. Like, no, that doesn't exist. Schools are created through state legislation, man. Positive law. Public. State elementary, junior highs, high schools, and colleges, and universities. State education emphasizes state structures. I'm going to say this, I think it's profound. Public schools create public professionals. Player?
Nice.
Your accountant, your lawyer, your stockbroker, your financial advisor. If you employ or contract with these types of public professionals, they are taught and educated publicly. Once again, we got about 60 seconds left in the broadcast. If you want to check out the show, because I'm just getting started, player, you're going to want to call in. 563-999-3625. Otherwise, you will be disconnected in a mere seconds, player. Seconds. That's cool. If it's cool with you, it's cool with me. If you like it, I love it. But back to the topic. Public schools create public professionals. And a lot of people be like, yo, I took the trust that we got from the trustee training. I took it to this attorney and they said that don't exist. Ain't no such thing. You can't do that. First thing I say. Who was it? Yeah, it was my state. It was my attorney, state attorney. What you mean, state attorney? Ask them where they went to college. They went to the state, the college of the state. You know what I'm saying? The University of the State, the University of Texas. They went to the University of Rhode Island, man. University of, all these universities, all these colleges, they're state structures, player. Created by legislation, positive law. For example, this is one of the perfect examples. You can jump on your computer, your laptop, your tablet, your mobile device, you know what I'm saying, your two-way pager if you still got them Jones, you know what I'm saying, and do a search. You do a Google search, whatever search engine you want to use, and type in types of business structures. I like to go to the Internal Revenue Service website because they have them. And it starts off like this. When beginning a business, you must decide what form of business entity to establish. Your form of business determines which income tax return form you have to file. The most common forms of business are the sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and S corporation. A limited liability company is a business structure allowed by a state statute. Legal and tax considerations enter into selecting a business structure. You know what I'm saying? You figure deals? Nowhere on this site do I see a business trust. Most people wouldn't pick up on the wordplay of the most common forms of business are, and then his name off all these statutory entities. But like I said, 1% information before 1% wealth. Nowhere on here is a business trust listed. And most people would say, oh, that don't exist. If the IRS says it don't exist, they don't exist. Why would you listen to the IRS about what type of structures are legal? Why Do you think that the IRS will ever come out and say, hey, y'all, you know what? I know we've been tripping, but here is how you avoid taxes legally. Here's how you do it. Take it. It's a PDF. Here, download it here. Here's a printed version. Here's the PDF. We want y'all to know how to legally avoid taxes. If you ever believe that the IRS is going to come out and say that, I pray for you. I will. So most people in, most state educated professionals would conclude and deduce that, these are the types of structures. These are the types of structures that your professionals are taught in their state-funded and allowed schools. I don't care if it's at the university level, the high school level. I don't care if it's master's. I don't care. I don't care what letters and numbers they have behind their name. They've been taught controlled knowledge. That's what they want you to know. That's what they want them to know. It's just different levels of controlled knowledge. Bottom line, there is a such thing as a business trust. And you're not going to learn that in public school. I didn't learn it in public school. A business trust is a separate and distinct entity from its capital unit holders. But the Supreme Court will say, here you go, Burnett versus Smith. The court ruled that trust, specifically business trust, is a legal entity for most all purposes, as are common law trust. Baker versus Stern, the court said it is established by legal precedent that business trusts are lawful, valid business organizations. In Weeks versus Sibley, the court said a peer trust or business trust is not illegal if formed for the express purpose of avoiding taxation. This is that 1% information. You're not going to get this stuff in the public. And you'd be like, well, so I'm listening to this podcast, this internet radio show, and this is in the public. Truth. You tell no lies. But I am not a public figure, and I am not a public professional. Period. First and foremost, if you are not administering private structures with regards to your asset protection, your wealth generation, you're doing these things, as I mentioned earlier, the conventional way. Most people do not know how to administer private contract entities, whether it be a business trust, asset trust, family trust. Most people do not administer a private family foundation. Most people don't. Most people don't know how. Most people have no understanding of that. Most people have heard potentially of a private family foundation. But if you said, hey, name 3 private family foundations, you would get a blank stare. And you say, oh, the Rockefeller Foundation, the Carnegie Foundation. And they'll be like, oh, yeah. But if you just straight up, open-ended question, name 3 different private family foundations. Try it. And see if people connect the dots in their mind to understand, oh, that's the Rockefeller Foundation. That's the Carnegie Foundation. That's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's the Clinton Foundation. That's the Ford Foundation. All these different foundations. Oh, no, because most people would think that they're public just because they're in the public. And even if you said name 3 different public foundations, they might say a public charity. Oh, the Red Cross, the Boys and Girls Club. Your mom. I'm just playing. Not your mom. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I apologize. I apologize for my juvenile activities this evening. But it's as I said, many people lose a lot of money, time, and energy doing things that they do conventionally. You're going to lose a lot of money, time, and energy doing business through conventional means. Oh, yeah, I got a sole prop. I got this partnership. I got this S-Corp. Yeah, it's an S-Corp, nigga. I got this limited liability company. Yeah, that's what I got. You're going to lose a lot of time and energy, man. Trust me. You're not going to have access to 1% wealth. What is 1% wealth and how is it created? 1% wealth is the type of wealth that we all want, but are we willing to do the things necessary to acquire it? 1% wealth is what Bezos got. Regardless of what Elizabeth Warren, all the world's a stage. Politicians, look, that's a stage, man. They doing a play. I don't believe her as far as I could throw her. I really don't. And the wealthiest in the world are not going to be subject to any type of legislative imposed tax. You got to understand the difference between public and private. If you don't, you believe everything they say. Yeah, they're going to tax the rich. No, they're not. No, they're not. They might tax certain rich people who don't have 1% information, but they'll never be able to tax the rich because they are structured in a certain way that disallows public figures and public statutes, legislations, public code to infringe upon their wealth. I've read so many Supreme Court cases where the court said specifically, dignity of a contract cannot be set aside because a tax benefit results either by design or accident. That's Edwards versus the commissioner. That's the IRS commissioner. The IRS commissioner. They're telling the IRS, the Supreme Court is telling the IRS, the dignity of a contract cannot be set aside because a tax benefit results either by design or accident. By design or accident. By design or accident. They can say whatever they want. But these people who are structured properly, it doesn't matter what they say. What matters is what the Supreme Court says and has said, stare decisis. And for the examiners, the IRS examiners, the Supreme Court case laws regarding these types of decisions has the same weight as the code, the Internal Revenue Code. People like, yo, hey, you know, I got a trust. I got my 9A number. I got my trust. Fam, do you understand exactly what you're talking about? Yeah, I got a trust. What's the name of the trust? This is my name. It's my name is a trust. That sounds like a living trust. It's like a grantor trust. Anything that you own can be taxed to you or litigated away from you. A grantor trust has no litigation, defense, or benefits. Well, I got it set up by, there's one guy, you know what I'm saying? He put it together. Look, they have trained professionals who work in departments with other trained professionals that see each other every day. They punch in and out every single day, and their job is to associate your trust as a grantor trust. Doesn't matter what the indenture says, the contract, the agreement, whatever. Doesn't matter what it says, and it matters how it is administered. That's what matters. It's called the substance over form doctrine. And these little fly-by-night, little 12-step, set up your trust, your private estate, it's not going to be able to withstand the assault of these Internal Revenue Service professionals. This is what they do, eat and sleep every single day. They call them trust busters. and certain attorneys, certain lawyers that litigate on behalf of their clients, big banks and credit card companies and so on and so forth. You default, you can't pay something, whatever. As soon as they get wind that you then somehow are administering a trust, man, you better be well educated. You better have that 1% information. But there's a sacrifice that comes along with obtaining that 1% information, which most people will not do. I'm telling you, it blows my mind every day. I had somebody tell me, well, brother, that is prohibitively expensive. Prohibitively expensive? Family, this is a fifth or a sixth of what you paid in taxes last year. Wouldn't you presume, I would presume myself that what you paid in taxes last year was prohibitively expensive, man. But that's the conventional way. That's what everybody else does. And the more money you make, the higher the tax bracket you go into as an individual. So the more taxes that they're taking from you, man. Well, I got a refund. You got a refund of your own money. They took 20 grand in taxes out of your check over the year. And your refund, you got 5 grand back. They still took 15 grand from you. And they do that every year. You telling me trustee training is prohibitively expensive? Yo, it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I don't argue with people. I just nod and agree. I agree. I agree with your adversary before you go to court. I agree. Like, look, I'm not arguing with anybody. It's not my job to change your mind. If you have already changed your mind, it is my job to change your life. It is my job to change the quality of your life. It is my job to help you change your lifestyle. That's my job. Not my job to change your mind. Dude, look, there's other people for that. I'm cool. I don't have time for that. Don't. People putting their money in the stock market, putting their money in what they call high yield investment accounts, high yield checking accounts. I laugh at you. Chuckle. Those of us with the 1% information, we put our money into private banking. We put our money into life insurance policies with cash value. We put our money into endowments. That's what we do. You do what you do, the conventional way. 1% information holders do what we do. And I will definitely tell you, I'm not even close to 1% wealth. But I definitely am sitting on that 1% information, which is building that 1% wealth. And it will take at least 2 generations after me to continue what I'm doing to get to that 1% wealth. I understand this. I'm not deluded. I'm not confused. Not in any way. But what confuses me is people saying, my man was like, that's prohibitively expensive. Fam, if you're listening, hey, at least I didn't say your name, right? I'm not going to put you on extra blast. And hopefully you didn't tell anybody that you told me that. But that blew my mind, fam. I'm like, wow, prohibitively. How much you pay in taxes every year, man? If you count up all the years since you've been, quote, working or, hustling or whatever you call it, and how much you've paid in taxes, man, you going to tell me trustee training is prohibitive? Cool, man. Cool, brother. Cool, player. That's cool, player. Those are the type of mentalities that are not fit to obtain, to breach, to broach, to obtain and hold this 1% information. It's not. Y'all do investments, y'all buying stocks and bonds and stuff like that. Cool. That's cool, player. 1% information holders put their money in private placement accounts and founders stock. You got to have a type of structure in order to do an endowment, in order to participate in founder stock. Oh, I'm getting a part of this IPO. IPO is when it's listed publicly. It's called an initial public offering. With a certain type of information, with certain types of structures, you can get involved in founder stock. I mean, you get the stock on penny on dollar. I don't care how much it opens at. I just want it to open because regardless, we finna get that payday. Oh, you got your Robinhood, you got your little Webull app. You think you're doing your dance because you can get access to IPOs. And I'm not trying to stunt on anyone. I'm just trying to put my point out there. 1% information before 1% wealth, player. It is what it is. But I understand most people are going to continue doing what they do. Most people are conventioners, and they're going to do that conventional dance. They don't like looking at people looking at them funny or being singled out because they're different. Most people want to be the same as everybody, want to blend in. And that's cool. I have no problem with that. As long as you know what you're doing, which is you're losing. You're absolutely losing. 401k, I laugh at a 401k. I'm serious. I'm not laughing at those who have 401ks. I'm laughing at the specific financial structure known as a 401k. Why? Because I possess 1% information. Period. Never would I invest in a 401k. Never. Or an IRA. I mean, come on, man. Be serious. Be serial. That's a negatory Nathan. That's a negathathan, man. That's a Negathaniel. For real. No. You got a 401k, you got an IRA. I'm not talking about you. I'm not. Because it's quite possible that you don't present or possess, you don't possess 1% information. Some of us may have 1% information and may have acquired it at a particular point in time where there was already a 401k or IRA set up. That's fine. What are you going to do? When you get the information, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Then I got people who get the 1% information. It changed their lives. They mitigate taxes, legally avoiding taxes, and then don't want to take the money that they otherwise would not have and put it to work. What? What do you mean you don't want to start a life insurance policy? Well, that's a lot of money, man. Blah, blah, blah. Like, man, they was taking a lot of money out your check, man. What you mean, man? You know how much taxes you was paying, man? Well, I mean, now that I, what I'm saying, blah, blah. I just don't understand people sometimes, I don't. And it's weird, being so L is not so different than being, an artist. I still feel separated from people. I still feel, different. I still feel watched and, paid attention to on a level that, I don't really understand. Man, people, when I was doing music, people were like, man, that's so dope, man. Oh, man, you inspire me, man. You da-da-da. And I'm like, man, you can do the same thing. Really? Yeah. But then when I started telling them how much work it takes, how much time I've invested, the types of sacrifices that I've made in order to be on that stage performing and being observed by over 20,000 people, most people aren't willing to put in that work, man. They go back to sleep. I'll just buy your next album. But thanks, though. It's the same thing with this information, man. It's the same thing. It's crazy. It's crazy. And this, some people have stage fright. Ain't no stage fright in learning. You get stage fright from reading a book. This is so different. I had people, man, I knew people that would get on, you be seeing them perform, you be like, yo, that's dope, right? But right before they performed, they was backstage freaking out, man. Freaking out. Ain't no freaking out with reading a book, man. Reading a PDF, reading Supreme Court case law. But still, most people will not do it. stepping outside their comfort zone. It's very, very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me. And I'm not talking bad about anyone. I find that, my purpose in most of these situations is to empathize with these people. What would I have to be feeling and thinking in my mind to be making these choices? And ultimately, I come back with the honest fact that I would have to be scared. I would have to be very, very scared to be doing what they're doing or to not do what they're not doing. I would have to be very, very scared. I would have to be very convinced that I'm going to fail, very fearful of me failing and people laughing at me. I would have to be very scared. I would have to have a very low self-esteem. That would be me. And of course, it's going to be different reasons for different people, but that would have to be me. I would have to be very scared. Now, I know brothers and sisters, man, that will shoot you, pop you, choke you in front of the police, man. Ain't scared of that. But doing something they're not used to, that's different. They saw their mom do that, their brother, their sister, they watch rap videos do, so it's crazy. I do these shows because I want to effect a change, right? But I come up against this wall of conventionalism. It's unconventionals. And not necessarily people using that specific word. Most people say that's different. Oh, that's really different. I got to do all that? That's when I know I lost you. As soon as someone says something like, oh, that's really different. Oh, wow, I got to do all that? Oh, that's a lot. I already know. Lost. Most people are convinced, you go to work, you got to cook, you got to do all, you do a lot, man. You're busy. You need to relax. Yeah, I need to relax. You need to buy this beer. You need to go on this vacation. What we don't understand, the translation is, you're busy. You deserve to give us your money. That's the translation. It's all a sales operation, man. You need to sit down and watch the game and drink this Bud Light. You deserve a vacation. So pay all these merchants. And we stay in the same cycle. Because we're taught that we do so much. We don't do that much, man. Go back 100 years. They did a lot. We're spoiled. Let's be honest. Spoiled. Most of us are spoiled. Unless you work an intense labor job every day, like labor, like you got to pick up heavy things, put them down. You're dealing with heavy machinery. You know what I'm saying? Farmers do a lot of work. Heavy, intense laborers, factory workers. Some factory workers, they sit at one station and just clip things together all day. It's hard on their hands, but really, how much energy are you exerting? And I'm not being dismissive of what you do for a living. I'm just saying, like, put it into perspective. You don't do too much in your life to where you don't have the time or energy to invest in changing your life. I'm going to say it again. You don't do too much in your life to where you really don't have the time or energy to change your life. That's a trick. Don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think you should. But hey, free will, I respect it. I respect free will. You do what you do. I appreciate 100% consent. If you are not down, I'm not down. That's like the name of my game. Straight up. I'm not going to force myself onto anybody, force information onto anybody, force anyone in any situation. It doesn't give me a good feeling. It really doesn't. And I think that's whack, and I would hate someone to do that to me. But I feel like a lot of times I'm between a rock and a hard place. A sock and a jar vase. I'm just playing. I'm still clowning, man. I need to chill. Professional is professional. High frequency, nigga. High frequency. But, I mean, in all seriousness, I think it's time, yo. I think it's time for you to acquire that 1% information, because it is essential and absolutely required if you want that 1% wealth, if you want that 1% lifestyle. It's required. It's not guaranteed. Not everybody who acquires the 1% information has the consistency and dedication required to obtain that 1% wealth. But it puts you in a much better position. I'll tell you what. It's my passion, my passion in life at this point in my life is to get as many people introduced and up to speed with this 1% information. That I was honored, blessed, destined, lucky, whatever you want to say, to be introduced to. That was just the introduction. I read and researched and executed and applied the 1% information. I mean, for real. And it changed my life. I'm telling you, 100% changed my life. Changed the quality of my life. My children recognized it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a 100% beautiful thing. It's totally different. If you ever, maybe you're like me. You were a child, and things were happening to you. That even though you were a child, you were a young child, you knew that these things that were happening to you was not right. It's not right. You knew that these things that were happening to you, you did not deserve this. And maybe as a child, you said the same thing to yourself that I said to myself. That when I get older, I'm not going to do this to my children. I'm going to be better than my dad and my mom or, whatever. And I'm going to do different things than they do. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that. Maybe you said these things to yourself as a child, as I did. I think most of us do. But from then until now, from the present to the past, what really happened? Because unfortunately, our child mind did not understand the power of environment, the power of pattern, the power of habit. Didn't understand how hard it would be to break away from the things that we knew were not correct, that we knew were not right. We understand how easy it was to get stuck in our ways, which really most oftentimes are the ways of our parents or those who were closest to us as we were coming up. I think about this stuff all the time. You know what I also think about? I think about myself old. Let's talk about 80, 89, maybe on hospice. I got tubes in my hand, tubes in my arms, maybe a saline drip or whatever it is. I'm in a bed. I can't move. I don't really have the use of my arms and legs. Got age spots on the back of my hand. I look at my hand and my hand looks old. I project myself to that time of my life almost daily. And why do I do that? Why would you do that? So why would you project yourself mentally in your mind's eye to a time where on hospice and you're laying in the bed, you really can't move, and you're looking at your hand and your hand looks old? The reason why is I want to make sure as best as I possibly can that when I project myself to that point where I'm in that bed, I can't really move, can't walk without assistance. I got tubes in my nose, maybe in my arms, in my veins. Whatever drip, saline drip, morphine drip, whatever it is. I project myself to that time in my life, and I check with myself and realize that I have very few regrets. That's the point. Very few regrets. I would say zero, but it's too late because I do have some regrets now. But I work very hard to not add to my life regrets. You ever thought about that? Also, I have conversations with my younger self a lot. The 9, 8, 12, 13-year-old Sot. And I don't butter it over. The dreams that I had, the things that I wanted to do, the things I wanted to be, the promises that I made to myself when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. He and I, we talk, we kick it. Fortunately, the dreams I had are fulfilled. The promises I made, I kept most of them. But I understand most people can't do that. It's too tough. It hurts too much. But I would say, if you had access to 1% information for what some would say would be a prohibitive fee, and you have your faculties about you, you're still young and able to take advantage of this 1% information that's in your face that most people will not come into contact with. Will you or will you not regret taking action, being consistent, being dedicated, and changing your life and changing the trajectory of your bloodline? You lay on a bed, you got tubes in yourself. You look at your hands and arms look old. Hold your hand in front of you. Hold your hand out in front of you. Now, I'm talking 80, 90 years on this earth. Imagine what your hand would look like. Would you regret not getting your hands on this 1% information? Would all the excuses that you give yourself today measure up to the 80-year-old you? Would 80-year-old you care that you worked 40, 50, 60 hours a week and you just didn't have time? Would 80-year-old you care? I find that to be fascinating questions that I ask myself every day. Does 11-year-old Sot really care? Nah, not really. Because he knew what was up. He knew what was right. He knew what was wrong. But that 1% information is at your fingertips. This is the age of information. You know? This is the age of Aquarius. It's the information revolution, not the industrial revolution. Industry has broken down. We are in the age of information. What are you going to do with it? A lot of people, most people have access to it. If you're on a certain vibrational frequency, you have a lot of things at your fingertips, but what are you doing with it? That's what I ask. And that's what probably, more than likely, that's what little you was asking. And 80-year-old, 89-year-old you will ask, why didn't you? Huh? Why didn't you? And how are you going to argue with yourself? How are you going to lie to yourself? And this may be kind of heavy, and I was cracking jokes. I still crack jokes. I crack jokes right now. But I keep it truthful. Not only do I seek out truth, Sot, seeker of truth, I speak out truth, speaker of truth. And this is the truth. I know you know the truth when you hear it. So you have a choice to make. You going to be conventional or are you going to be unconventional? Are you going to be 99% or are you going to be 1%? But I love to say it. You must grind and work how most won't, so you can live how most can't. That's the formula. You must work how most will not. They won't. So you can live how most cannot. They can't. I have a choice to wear really, really beat up, cheap clothes. I also have a choice to wear very, very nice clothes. Most people don't have that option. They don't have that choice. Most people can only wear the clothes that they have. I have a choice if I want. I'm sitting here, right here, doing this show. If I wanted to, I could be on a flight to anywhere in the world. Most can't do that. You have to grind how most will not, so you can live how most cannot. It's the secret of the 1%. Along with this other information that you can receive, here at the foundation. So that's what I got for y'all, 1% information before 1% wealth. You gotta learn how to crawl before you walk before you run before you fly. And that's the business, That's what it do. That's what it done. That's when it done dizzle. But I'm telling the truth. And when you know the truth shall what? Set you frizzle free. Free. And I'm just hey. I'm just doing my part, And if we all do our part, what a wonderful life this would be. So that's what I got for y'all, It's up to you, though, You can email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Inquire about trustee training. Make the sacrifices necessary, which is equivalent to grinding how most will not, so that you can begin to live how most cannot. Or not, It's completely up to you. It's your world. I'm just here. I'm just here chilling. But this is your world. And you do with it what you please, whether you know it or not. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all checking out the show. I do this for y'all. I don't necessarily do it for myself because things are cool over here. I'll take a call or two if you want. Got a couple callers in the queue. Got about 18 minutes left before they cut us off. So this is I'm gonna talk to him. Talk to you in a while, man. Let's pull in Albert 602-9705. Peace, family. How you doing?
Hey, brother.
What's going on, man?
Hey, not too much, man. Just trying
to
cool out.
Man. You sleeping? You got that sleepy neck.
Like I said, we were just trying to cool out here with the family, man. Catch your show a little bit. Appreciate you getting on, man. I was gonna pass, but I couldn't help myself as always. And really kind of honestly, bits and pieces of the show here today, man. Again, I just want to let you know we appreciate you very much, and really digging where you was at the end of the show. And once again, everybody, all I can do is encourage you from our place of passion, our struggle, our time here, and the different levels of wealth and education that we've obtained, as well as actually experiencing with our own two hands right here, right now, at the level that we're at. There's always, just like in any area of growth, you want to get gains, you got to put a little bit more pressure on them. Even days like today, the pressure was much different than any other day, but like so to get to that next level, you have to do the thing that you've never done to get where you've never got. Just like anyone else, any tree, any plant, anything, in order for it to grow, it's got to stretch. It's got to stretch itself. So as we've been stretched today and every other day, man, we could just give once again from my experience that you got to put it together.
Oh, man, you going in and out. I don't know what's going on with your phone, family, but you're going in and out.
Gotcha. But just trying to let people know, like what we're dealing with at our next level of growth, you got to put in the work, and we can't skip any steps. You can, but you're going to get the effect of playing that hot step. You're going to play games with what you're doing. You want to jump steps. You're going to find the half-ass success that you put in. If you put in half-ass, you will get half-ass. So when you look at your scorecard, it might say thumbs up, complete, but how complete is it really? It's half-ass. So just please put in the work, everybody. You got to look and see where you at today, where you was at yesterday, and where you want to go for tomorrow. So put a real good spin on it with his experience showing how. Where's your maturity level if you look at yourself in the mirror? We always have to look at ourselves in the mirror. Are we really letting this small and significant thing hold us back, hold us down, push us forward? What's it doing for us? So y'all got to push on, man. Don't let the pain, the insignificant bullshit get in the way. It's really insignificant. We got a couple chickens running around here, and some days these cats don't want to push out an egg. I can tell, but they got to do their job. It's pressure. You're in the heat. In order to get that fruit, in order to get your seed to grow, you got to put everything in the right amount of pressure. Because it's like my good old brother, big brother USFL said. He said years ago, and it always stuck with me. Any old idiot can grow some seed on the ground and grow some. But to really get that thing to grow to its full potential, just like a child, man, you got to mend the soil. Some shit you got to take out. Can't always just run over there and take out the issue out of the soil. Sometimes you got to wait it out for time. And you got to put good nutrients in it. You got to put good fertilizer in it. Natural stuff. Sunlight, shade, nutrition, water, the balance of life. So it's that balance of life, you guys. Don't miss out now. With this comfort issue that we all have, with the disease of comfort, get up and keep pushing yourself. No good thing, no seed is cracked open, no baby is born, nothing is born without a little bit of pressure. And the more that you want, actually think about not even just what you want, but what is right for your soul. What is right for your soul? Not just the money game, but what is it going to take to get you right within your soul to be able to consciously lead yourself and your soul and your family through the next days in your future, so that you know that you are secure in all the ways that security really is important for you. I know for me, I'll never feel secure until my family is 100% sustained with the food and living environment, the best that I could give them, to where we can be living off of the earth without being dependent. We cannot continue to be dependent. I do not feel right within my soul until that's 100% complete. And as much as I want it now, today, I know in order to get these seeds to grow correctly, I got to keep fixing the soil. We're 2 years in on this soil in a couple of areas we're growing in, but that ain't nothing. Because now what we know how to do, we can take something from what we learned in 2 years and we can duplicate it again. But it won't take 2 years. As we continue to progress, what we did, what took us 2 years, we can now do it in 2 months. Half the, a fraction of the time. It took a lot of pressure and a lot of time to figure out what did and didn't work. But now we can duplicate it. So please, everybody, get your ass in front of me and keep it real. What you're doing now, what you did yesterday, look at it, evaluate it. What adds up? What's going to matter for your security in your future? Go with to yourself, because the tomorrow, man, you got to look in the future tomorrow also. Or you got to look at it in the mirror also. Because that future man, the tomorrow man, trust me, you ain't gonna feel good when you look in that mirror and he says you didn't add up to what you said you could have done. So add up to what you said you did. Let your yeses be yes and your no's be no's. And your ways, they'll become more true to you. Do your best, everybody. I appreciate you again, so for sharing your experience, your analogies again. You know, I really do appreciate that because, you know, I'm one of those individuals that goes outside some days and I really feel like the time is ticking because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and it ain't promised. So, bless y'all, man. The number love and appreciate you again for at least taking us on. So we'll keep in touch, man. And thanks for all your contacts and everything you got going on. Much love, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, family, appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. Sounds like you could have been sleeping right now, but I appreciate you checking out the show. I appreciate everybody checking out the show. And I think that's poignant. You know what I'm saying? Let your yeses be yeses and your no's be no's. I think that's a big deal. And that, if we can just do that, a lot of us, our lives will be different and much more fulfilled, fulfilling. And I'm the type of person, I'm a very happy man, but I know what it is to be unhappy. I'm a very confident man, but I know what it is to lack confidence. I'm a very well-off man, but I know what it is to be poor. And it's my young life that allows me so much to appreciate my mature life. It is my childhood that allows me to appreciate my adulthood. And, that's just me. I know other people have other motivating factors, but that's just me. And I don't have no problem sharing that. It can come up with conversation in complete strangers. If the conversation is moving at a certain, degree and it comes up, I will tell a complete stranger about the majority of my difficulties in my life. Setbacks, the abuses, the bad decisions. I do that because I'm not ashamed, because I know it was either a blessing or a lesson. I learned something or I gained something. And everything in my life has brought me to here, to where I'm so appreciative, to where I feel so blessed, to where I, crack jokes off, where I'm laughing almost all the time. I'm laughing. I got a smile on my face. I'm laughing almost all the time. And it was the exact opposite earlier in my life, I would say that I paid my dues, I paid my dues and what was necessary for me to be happy and well off and to enjoy my life. That's why I like to say enjoy yourself. I would also say that you paid your dues as well. There may be more dues that we have to pay, that you have to pay. But I would also say that you paid your dues as well. The life that you've lived, the things that you've gone through. This is to the whole entire audience. And that you deserve abundance. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to laugh much more than you smile. Deserve to be confident much more times and much more often than you deserve to be anxious. But I will tell you this. It was a decision for me. I said it out loud. I said, I've paid my dues and I deserve to be happy and content now. I manifested that. It wasn't like someone came and gave it to me. I made a choice. And that statement, that choice, made me not speak to certain people because I deserve to be happy. Made me not do certain things in life because I deserve to be content. There were certain things that I stopped doing, certain things that I started doing because of that announcement that I made, because of that distinction and that specific unwavering choice that I made, which has allowed me to be living how I'm living. I know not everyone's equal, not everyone's the same, but man, we all have choice. And some would say choice is an illusion. An illusion created by those with power for those without. But if you don't have power over yourself, if you don't have power over your own urges and compulsions, then that would be correct. Choice is an illusion. But if you possess power, choice is not an illusion. If you possess the power to say, you know what, I do like alcohol, but I'm not going to drink anymore. Why? Because I said so. Because I'm going to show myself that I'm not subjected to this alcohol or, whatever it is. It could be high sugar foods. It could be fat. It could be, you know what, I'm going to start exercising more. Whatever it is. If you can exercise that power, your choice is not an illusion. And you can see that your choices create distinctions in your life, distinguished from other people's choices and manifestations in their life. For me, that was all the more fuel to continue to create and make better choices so that I can create and make a better life for myself and my family. And, with these shows, it's what I'm hoping to do. I trust in the universe and, the creator and God, however, you identify, that y'all are able to pick up what I'm putting down, I understand many are called and few are chosen. But I also understand that it's us that chooses. You got to choose yourself. You might see a really nice car drive by you and that car call to you. But do you choose to own it? Do you choose to go get it? Do you choose to do what's necessary to acquire it? It breaks down that simple to me. And I do this for the love, y'all. So with that being said, I love y'all. I trust that you picked up something. I trust that you learned something with today's episode. 1% information before 1% wealth. I invite you to email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. If you want to inquire with regards to trustee training, that 1% information, I would invite you to check out welcometothefoundation.com. If you would like to book a consultation or get your hands on some of the free PDFs or any of the offerings, the Foundation Trust Primer, Foundation Trust Series, Passport No Social. If you want to find the social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, welcometothefoundation.com. But ultimately, I trust that you will make a choice. And maybe not now, but very soon, if not now, that you are one of those people that will grind how most will not, so you can live how most cannot. And it would be my pleasure to assist you in making that happen. You got to make the choice, but it would be my pleasure to assist you in making that happen. So with that being said, I love y'all, like straight up. I love y'all. I want what's best for y'all. I know you can do it. I know it's tough. I know you've been through some things and it's hard, but I know you can do it. I really believe in y'all. So know that. If no one believes in you, I do. I like to say, if you couldn't count to 10, you can count on me. But, I'm one of those, I help those that help themselves, and I can't carry anyone. So I could definitely, I'm a cold wingman. I'm a cold assistant. I'm cold. But yeah, y'all have a great week, Keep that in mind. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night, as it is very important to start to begin to change the way you think. The way of thinking of appreciation. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next week here on the hottest radio network on the planet. That's High Frequency Radio Network. My name is Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. As I said, it's been a pleasure, and I will catch you next week. Enjoy yourself. Peace to the guys.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.